Forgiveness has long been praised as a noble act, a gift we give to those who have hurt us. But what if the greatest gift of forgiveness is actually for the forgiver? The idea that forgiving others first will free yourself is both profound and transformative, touching every aspect of our emotions, spirit, and even physical health. To truly understand why forgiveness liberates us, we must explore the nature of resentment, the mechanism of forgiveness, and the extraordinary freedom waiting on the other side. At the center of every grudge, every lingering anger, every wound that refuses to heal is a story we tell ourselves about what happened and its meaning. When someone hurts us, whether intentionally or not, the pain can be sharp and personal. The mind, in an effort to protect us, will replay the event, analyze it, and often exaggerate it. We may feel justified in our anger, believing that holding on to it will keep us safe or ensure justice is served. But in reality, holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy burden wherever we go. It colors our perspective, shapes our interactions, and limits our joy. Imagine resentment as a chain that binds us to the past. Each time we recall the pain, we reinforce that link, keeping ourselves tied to a moment that no longer exists. The person who hurt us may have moved on, changed, or even forgotten, but we remain prisoners of our own pain. This is the paradox of unforgiveness. We think we are punishing others, but in reality, we are punishing ourselves. Bitterness, if left unchecked, can seep into every corner of life, affecting relationships, health, and our outlook on the future. Forgiveness, therefore, is not about accepting mistakes or forgetting pain. It is a conscious decision to free oneself from the grip of the past. It is an act of letting go, choosing peace instead of chaos, reclaiming one's own story. When we forgive, we break the chain of resentment and step into a space of possibility, where healing, growth, and true happiness can truly flourish. The process of forgiveness is very personal. It often begins with acknowledging the pain, allowing yourself to feel the pain without judgment or denial. This honesty is very important because we cannot let go of what we refuse to face. Next is understanding, viewing the situation from a broader perspective, recognizing the humanity and imperfections in others, and possibly in ourselves as well. This does not mean excusing harmful behavior, but it means realizing that everyone is shaped by their own difficulties, fears, and limitations. Forgiveness is also an act of self-compassion. By choosing to let go, we affirm that our mental health is important. We refuse to let anger and bitterness define ourselves. Neuroscience has shown that holding on to anger and resentment triggers stress responses in the body, increasing blood pressure, releasing harmful hormones, and weakening the immune system. Conversely, forgiveness is associated with reduced stress, improved mood, better sleep, and even increased longevity. The freedom that comes from forgiveness is not just emotional, but also physiological. Let's look at the story of someone who was betrayed by a close friend. The pain can be immense, and the temptation to hold on to anger is understandable. But over time, the burden of betrayal can become overwhelming. It can create distrust, making new relationships difficult. It can overshadow joyful moments with memories of loss. When that person chooses to forgive, not to forget, but to let go of the hurt that controls their life, they begin to heal. The act of forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. The friend may never apologize or change, but the forgiver is no longer defined by the betrayal. They are free to seek connection, embrace happiness, and move forward unbound. Forgiveness also opens the door to empathy and understanding. When we let go of resentment, we can see others more clearly, not just as the sum of their worst actions, but as complex individuals going through their own challenges. This can deepen our capacity for empathy, both towards others and ourselves. When we forgive, we acknowledge our own pain and strength. We realize that we too have made mistakes, and that redemption and growth are possible for everyone. Freedom comes from transformative forgiveness. It allows us to reclaim our power, to shape our lives according to our own values, not our wounds. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is a profound act of courage. It is a way of saying, I refuse to let this pain control me. I choose peace. I choose joy. This is not always easy. It may take time, effort, and support, but the reward is immense. Forgiving others also creates space for new possibilities. When we are no longer immersed in bitterness, we have more energy for creativity, connection, and purpose. Our relationships improve, not only with the person we have forgiven, but with everyone we meet. We become more open, more trusting, and more capable of fully engaging with life. The world becomes less threatening and more hopeful. In many spiritual traditions, forgiveness is seen as a path to enlightenment, a way to transcend the limits of the ego and suffering. It is a practice, something we return to many times, each time deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world. In this sense, forgiveness is not a single act but a journey, a way of living that prioritizes freedom over fear, love over hatred. The important thing to remember is that forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to forgive from a distance, letting go of the pain without reopening the relationship. Forgiveness is about our inner state, not external circumstances. It is a quiet but powerful decision to be free. Ultimately, forgiving others first frees yourself because it shifts the focus from what happened to you to what you choose to do now. It is the restoration of autonomy, a declaration that your happiness does not depend on the actions of others. By forgiving, you step out of the darkness of the past and into the light of possibilities. You become the author of your own story, no longer bound by the limitations of old wounds. So when you think about forgiveness, remember this profound truth. It's not about others, but about yourself, your heart, your peace, and your future. Forgiveness is not an excuse for what happened or pretending that the pain doesn't matter. Instead, it is a conscious choice to let go of the burden that has weighed heavily on your soul. It is stepping out of the darkness of resentment and into the light of freedom, peace, and joy. When you forgive, you choose to live a life no longer imprisoned by anger or bitterness. You open your heart to the possibility of love, healing, and personal growth. You create space for grace to enter your life and for hope to be restored in your heart. Each act of forgiveness becomes a step toward a lighter spirit, a stronger will, and a deeper connection with the life you are meant to live. When you forgive others, you free yourself first, breaking the heavy chains of past hurts and becoming free to embrace the infinite future ahead. And in that newfound freedom, you discover a wonderful truth. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a strong and courageous act. It is the key to growth, not just survival, and to living a life full of joy, peace, and love.